Hey guys, that's Weekend and welcome to my review of The Dark Side of the Moon. Now, this has nothing to do with Pink Floyd, and I've been wanting to see this film for a long time, since it was actually recommended in John Stanley's Creature Features movie guide. Heard a lot of good things about it. I was really psyched when I found this at the thrift store, and I gotta say, it was worth it. Now, is the film perfect? No. I mean, it's a low-budget film, so it has its limitations. I'm not the biggest fan of the ending, but I understand. But I think this movie kind of earned that kind of ending, but at the same time, I don't know, might have preferred it not to be so, downbeat. But anyway, just to get a little bit of gist of the film here, the film was released in 1990. I don't think it came out in theaters at all. It was just straight direct-to-video. And it's directed by DJ Webster, who DJ Webster, I don't know if he's done anything else, but all I gotta say right off the bat is DJ Webster did a really solid job with this film, considering his limitations. This is the only film he's directed. That's really too bad. That really is too bad. He produced and directed this film. That really is too bad. DJ Webster did a really good job here. I think he did. He did a really good job, in my opinion. So basically, this is written by Carrie and Chad Haynes, and it stars Robert Sampson as Flynn Harding, who I think is the pilot of Space Corps 1, which is the ship that's flying around. Will Bledsoe as Giles Stewart. Speaking of Will Bledsoe, a while back on one of my older channels, I think it was, I don't remember, it was supposed to be 002 or 003. I uploaded the trailer, which I re-uploaded just recently. And Will Bledsoe himself actually left me a comment on YouTube and wanted a copy of the trailer. I sent it to him. And he sent me an email with a picture from the set of the film. And I wish I could show it to you, but being a stupid dumbass, my Hotmail automatically deleted some stuff because, it was getting too old, and that was one of the things that was deleted. Great, something really cool like that. But I wish there'd be some way that I could get in contact with Will Sampson. Not Will Sampson. not Will Sampson. He's dead. If I could contact Will Sampson, I have to use a spirit medium. No, Will Bledsoe again. But now that I've finally seen the film, I got to say, Will, if you're watching, probably aren't, but you did a good job. So any of the comments you see on, IMDb and people saying you're terrible, I disagree with it. I thought you did a great job, really. Alan Blumenfeld's also in this. John Diehl, Robert Sampson, and Wendy MacDonald, and Camilla More, and Joe Turkel, who was in The Shining. That's what he's most famous for, The Shining. And John Diehl, who I've seen him before and other stuff. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, John Diehl. It was the guy from. Oh, John Diehl. He was in Madhouse. Yeah, he was in Madhouse. He was Fred in Madhouse. Okay, he did a good job in this as well. Okay, no wonder that name sounded familiar to me. Anyway, makeup effects by Art Christopher Biggs, who did a pretty good job. But anyway, this basically kind of getting the plot here of Dark Side of the Moon. It is the year 2022. Mysterious systems failure causes the crew of the spaceship, which is Space Corps 1, to be stranded on the dark side of the moon. While rapidly running out of fuel and oxygen, they are surprised to discover a NASA space shuttle floating in space, and board it in hope of salvaging some supplies. One by one, the crew is possessed and killed. It is up to Paxton Warner to find the links between the dark side of the moon and Bermuda Triangle and the devil himself. Well, it's not really up to Paxton Warner, okay? Paxton Warner is just one of the crew members. Paxton Warner is played by Joe Turkel. Really what it is it's up to everybody on this crew to figure it out. And basically in the beginning of the film, you have this little first text lines, which talk about Space Corps 1 is on a routine refab mission. The refabs are fixers. Their purpose is to repair nuclear-armed satellites orbiting high above the Earth. Due to the atomic capabilities of satellites, refabbing is considered very dangerous. So basically, Space Corps 1 is this group, they're going around, and they end up, what happens, and I thought the film did a fantastic job building this sense of mystery, really mysterious. Prometheus, take a note from The Dark Side of the Moon, because this film does a 10 times better job creating something mysterious and mystery and creating a sense of dread and suspense than you ever will. In my opinion, anyway. Basically, what this film ends up being, and I'll get into that a little bit later, actually, near the end. But basically, it creates this really great sense of mystery. It hooked me right from the beginning. You start off with, they're just on this ship, the crew's on their ship, floating around, doing a routine refab mission. And then all of a sudden, one of the crew members touches the panel on the ship, and it electrifies them. And then they go touch more panels, and they get electrifying back. And basically, they're just like, what the hell? What the hell's wrong here? Well, it's Joe Turkel, who then asks his android, who is this sexy robot chick in skin-tight leather, yeah, you can come sit on my face anytime. But really, so he plays Camilla More plays Leslie, which is an android, and she basically says that there's nothing wrong with the ship. That's what she relays back, and of course, Will Bledsoe, this character Giles, is like, what the hell? What do you mean there's nothing wrong with the ship? Everything's screwing up here. And then the whole ship shuts down. Then you're like, wow, what the fuck is going on here? What is wrong? What caused this ship to shut down? And then you end up, the movie goes along a little bit further, and then you find out that they're heading towards this point, which they're basically heading towards the dark side of the moon. And their thrusters are out, and they got 13 hours, otherwise they're going to collide with the dark side of the moon. And you're like, what's going on here? And the film does a really good job creating this sense of mystery and really kind of, you're asking, leaves you asking questions. You're like, what the hell's going on here? And then, just when you think it's not getting any more strange and mysterious, then a space shuttle, the Space Shuttle Discovery, shows up. A space shuttle. This takes place in the future, 2022. So the space shuttle, 10 years from now, actually, and they find the space shuttle just coming towards them, getting ready to dock, and you're like, what is this thing doing here? And they're even the crew is asking themselves, like, this thing has been out of decommission for decades. This thing shouldn't even be here. But they need air because they're running out of air. So the crew decides, okay, we'll go on the spaceship, and we're going to go try to transfer the air into our ship so we can, basically live a little bit longer, so we can figure out how to get the thrusters working so we can get back home. And the atmosphere and the production design was really well done, in my opinion, on the Discovery. It looks dingy. It looks, it looks like not a good place to be, so to speak. And the first, basically, Will Bledsoe, Giles, and Flynn, Robert Sampson, they end up going, basically, they go on the ship, they go on the Discovery to get the air, transferred to the other ship, to the Space Corps 1. And they walk into this room, and there's all this weird, there's like chains and stuff around this room. And then, you have this moment where basically, I think it's Joe Turkel, he notices there's a life form, there's something on this ship, and they're like, what is it? We don't see anything. Where is this? What happens is they keep looking at their monitors that talk about, I guess it recognizes genetic modifications, or just it recognizes something, life form. And it just goes off and on, and you're kind of like, what is going on here? What is this life form? And, and they're like, where is this life form? We don't see anything. And you see this stuff's dropping from the ceiling on the floor. And then you see the two guys that look up. And then you see this dead body just fall down. You're like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? And then you find out when the doc, who is played by his name is Doc Dreyfus, played by Alan Blumenfeld. And he's basically, he's there, and he's looking at it like, he's looking at they're not looking at the dead body. And Alan Blumenfeld's been in a lot of stuff too. Trying trying to think of what. Remember him. He was Larry in Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives. He was just a man with camera in outer space. He was in Nightlife. I think that's that's not the same one. That's a different one. That's a vampire comedy. Dark Side of the Moon. He was in Problem Child 2. I don't know. I've just seen him before in other stuff. I guess he's been in a lot of stuff. Little bit parts and stuff. He's not really the most well known. He was in War Games as well. I guess he was also in The Ring. But anyway, he discovers the whole. He's looking at the dead body of this astronaut, which it turns out to be one of the NASA astronauts. I think the guy's name is. I can't remember the guy's last name, but it's one of the astronauts. And there's 3 astronauts on this mission, the Discovery. And you find out later in the film, through Leslie, that 2 of them were found dead upon re-entry, and one of them disappeared. And then basically, they look at this one astronaut, and they look at his body, and there's this triangle that's cut in his chest. Literally, it's like a perfect triangle that is cut in his chest, so you can see his entrails. It's like a perfect triangle. And they're looking at it, they're like, they're looking, maybe he committed suicide, but the cuts are too good. There's no way. This isn't a laser. This isn't anything. We don't know what is causing this. And then they basically leave the dead body of the astronaut there. They're just wondering they're just freaked out. Like I would be too. What the fuck is this triangle? What's up with this shit? And then basically, Bledsoe, Giles decides, all right, I'm going to talk to this robot chick. I'm going to chat with Leslie and see what's going on with this. And he chats with her, and that's when he starts realizing that there's this really disturbing connection between where they are and the Bermuda Triangle. And he does this trajectory, and it basically shows Bermuda Triangle is right there, in Florida, and the place where they're at, Dark Side of the Moon, is also a triangle. So the triangles are connecting to each other, and they're like in the middle of it. And I thought that was really cool. That's gotta be creepy. You're like, shit, we're in the middle of the fucking, some weird supernatural shit going on here. And he's in the computer room afterwards, after he figures this stuff out, and he's like, this is weird, what is going on here? And he's in the computer room looking at some stuff, watching the dead body of, basically watching his I think it's his, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or not, but it's, Wendy MacDonald plays Alex. He's watching her, and she's doing some tests on the dead body and whatever, and she's looking at some stuff. And then you get this really creepy scene, which I still don't know what the hell happened. I know basically get the gist of what happened, some sort of possession angle, but I thought it was really well done. It's unsettling. It's not really scary to me. It's just creepy and unsettling. And I got the clip right here, so just, I think I'll share it with you. So this is a clip from The Dark Side of the Moon, and
The day of reckoning is upon you all. No! You belong to me now.
Alex!
Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of my name.
I mean, that scene, it's the score, adds to the dread of the scene. That's when you first see that there's something really fucked up going on in this film, going on here in this, place where they're at, on the dark side of the moon, and, that whole, something comes out of the triangle on the guy's chest, but I don't know what it is. Is it an alien? I don't know what the hell it is. So that, once you're like, what's going on? And the scene after that, you think she's dead, but you see the dead body still laying there on the slab, and she's just laying there like she got knocked.